let's go and look at question 2. Question 2, you were given a quadratic sequence of 1, 6, 15, 28, which continues. Then now they say, write down the second difference. That is easy. First we need to find the first difference. So what's the first term is going to be? 5, it's going to be 9, it's going to be 13. Then the second difference, then we say 9, it's 4, then it's 4. So therefore our solution is 4. Then you get your 1 mark. Then they say determine the nth term. So for the nth term, remember that we have our equations are called. We know the second constant difference is equals to 2a. The first term of the first difference is equals to 3a plus b. Then the first term is going to be a plus b plus c. So we are solving those equations again. So let's start with this one that says a equals to 4a. So a equals to 4a. Then a is equals to 2. Now that we have a, we go and substitute that in this equation again. So now we have 3, instead of a we put 2 plus b is equals to 5. Then this is 6 plus b is equals to 5. Therefore b is equals to -1. And then we solve the first one that says a plus b plus c is equals to 1. Then instead of a we put 2 plus, instead of b, -1 plus c is equals to 1. So therefore c is equals to 0, because we'll be left with 1, take that 1, then we'll have 0. Then we conclude and say Tn is equals to the value of a, 2n squared, the value of b, minus n. We have to write plus 0. No. So this is the solution for number 2. Are you okay with number 2? Yes. Then number 2.1.3. Calculate which term of this sequence equals to. Which term? In other words, which term will be equals to 2701. This is the equation again. And then instead of Tn, we are going to put 2n squared minus n is equals to 2701. And then we solve for n. So this is 2n squared minus n minus 2701 is equals to 0. Then you factorize. 2n, what are the factors of this? 2n plus 17. 73. And it's n minus 87. So therefore n can never be equals to -73 over 2, or n is equals to 37. Have we answered the question? Calculate which term, which means therefore it's T37. Okay? Are we okay with number 2.1.3? Okay, and then we go to 2.2. Then 2.2, you are given an arithmetic series, 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 25, and so on. Then it goes to the last term of 185. And then the first question says, how many terms are there in this series? So how many terms, which means we are going to use Tn, Yes. Okay, should we go and find Tn, or we substitute at the same time? Go at the same time. Okay, so we have Tn is equals to a plus n minus 1d. Instead of Tn, we are going to put the last term. 185 is equals to, instead of a, 10 plus, instead of n, we are solving for n again. Then instead of d, 5. Then we are solving this equation. So we have 185 is equals to 10. Then we distribute, which will be positive 5n minus 5. Then this 5 to the other side, we are going to have 108 is equals to 5n. Then therefore n is equals to 36. We haven't answered the question. How many terms? So there are 36 terms. 36 terms. Okay. Yes, question. How? We counted the manual.
No, not manual. I think it's like 185.
185, yeah?
Yes, that's how we divide number 5.
Divide number 5, yeah? What if it started at 205 and the last term is 10,005? So that method won't work, okay? So you needed to do it general. Okay, very good. The next question. Next question says, calculate the sum of all the natural numbers from 10 to 185 that are not divisible by 5. Which means we are talking about 11, 12, 18, 14, 16, and so on. So how do we approach this one? First find the sum of all the natural numbers from 10 to 185. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, so we are trying to calculate the sum for these guys. 11, 12, and it goes to, including the numbers that are not divisible by 5. Okay? So to the 285. So the first thing we need to do is to calculate how many terms we have. How many terms? So we are using this method again. So we are going to have 185 is equals to the value of A. The value of A is 10 plus into n minus 1. The value of D is 1. Because if you say T2 minus T1, you get 1. Then we find how many terms we have. So this is 175. Can you say 175? Yes. Then this is n minus 1. Okay? And then n is equals to 176. If we take this one to the other side. Including the numbers that are not divisible by 5. Okay? So let's go ahead and calculate the sum. So since it's arithmetic, we are going to use this formula or the one that uses the last term. Okay? So this is 176 over 2 into 2, the value of A, 10 plus into the value of N, 176 minus 1, the value of D is 1. Then you compute this for me. What are you getting? 17,160. So this is the sum of all the numbers from 10 to 185, irregardless if they are divisible or not divisible by 5. Again. And then our next step, find the sum of numbers that are divisible by 5. And we already know how many terms we have of numbers that are divisible by 5. Again. So let's go and compute the sum. So the sum is equals to n over 2 into 2, the value of A. The value of A, 10 plus into, let's substitute. How many times? 36, 36, then 36 minus 1, then the value of D, 5. And then you calculate the sum. What will be the sum? 8,000. 510. And then, therefore, the sum of all numbers that are not divisible by 5, we are going to say, so the sum of numbers that are not divisible by 5, we are going to say 17,160 minus 3,510. Then our solution is 13,650. So that should be our solution. Then you get your 6 marks. 6 marks. 6 marks, the number of terms is very important. All right.